Let's have a look if this fixes the PSA I put out the other week. Hi and welcome to another episode, and what you can tell is I've bought AMVR grips for the Quest 3 or the Q3. If you're trying to keep quiet, you can't really read that, can you? There we go, Q3. Now, I haven't opened these up yet. I'm going to have a look inside. This came inside another box, which sort of protected everything as it came. That box was mashed to bits. This does seem to be fine. But there was a little creepy crawly inside the other box. Nothing particularly interesting on the box at all. So yeah, that's a bit disturbing, but these things happen, you know, insects get everywhere. So open it up. I've got a grip there, rustle. Take that one out. There we go. Seems to replace the side. And I've got another one. There we go. Let's keep them together though, so that don't lose the stuff. Oh, and there's a creepy crawly inside the box. That's not so great. Right, we have some of these things. Replacements of these, which are on the side, whatever they're for. And obviously some manuals. So we'll put them to the side. And I'll keep that little creepy crawly in its little box. It seems to be dead. But yeah. So there's a creepy crawly inside the box that was inside the postage box, and then there's a creepy crawly inside the actual box. I've got a feeling they've got a little bit of an infestation at their warehouse. They might want to have a look at AMVR. These things happen, but you know, it's not so great sending people dead insects all around the world. Right, let's have a look at the manual. If I can use my super duper old man eyesight. Thank you for purchasing and using AMVR products. The anti-throwing strap grip cover is specifically designed for Q3 or the third quarter. Anyway, the design is novel and beautiful, not only comfortable to wear, but also adjustable according to the size of the palm. Blah blah blah. Tells you what it's made out of, what you've got with it. That's number 5, is the plastic pull tab. I'm assuming that's so that when you put a battery inside, it's going to be easy to pop it back out again. Yes, it is. You can tell by the design of the way it is. So it should make it easier to pop a battery out, because the whole idea is with these is that once you've got the controller inside, you shouldn't have to remove it. So let's start with the left one. Not that makes much difference, but let's make a start. Where's the... Come on. Oh, does it press anything? Oh yes, there's a little button. I didn't realise. There's a little button here that actually releases it. There we go. Hey Bright batteries. I have to say, never heard of them, but we'll carry on using them because they do have power in at the moment. Alright, so let's get the left one on. So what we obviously need is to get this on here, which is good because it has a little L on it to let you know it's the left one. I'm assuming the one on the right has an R. It does. Don't know what this is about up here, apart from maybe, you know, help the grip from stop from spinning around. Let's fold that in there. Get the battery in, positive pointing downwards. It's all the way in. Tuck that in. Bit fiddly, but doable. Right, so now we've left with an opening, which is fine because this is actually the cover for the battery now. Don't really think we need the extra bit of string, do we? But we'll do it just in case there's friends or relatives are a bit accident prone, so at the very least it can still be over their wrists. Feed that through, slide that in, and there we go. Yep. Squash it in. Yeah, stuff. And as I say, I do wonder if the PSA thing that I put out the other week was, well, it seems that these guys at AMVR had already realised that one. I didn't need my little kick up the backside to point out to them that it needs to be done. They were already on the ball, as it were. Because the thing is that lots of different makers of grips for the Quest 3 aren't taking point of this area here. And you might not realise it, but on these controllers there is actually an infrared emitter here as well, which is needed. So let's get this set for me. Not exactly got big hands, but you can see that's how my hand fits. Nearly 6 foot, so you're getting maybe an idea. Some people say I've got piano fingers, but either way it fits. That feels comfy. That's just as good as the ones that I used to have on the Quest 2 controllers. Yep, there's that bit of plastic. So it's helping to stop it from spinning round. That's a clever design. For me, actually, with having the grip on, it helps because it stops my little finger just starting to want to creep across where that infrared emitter is, because obviously there's this slight thickness of it. But in gripness, yeah, that feels good. Still get up to the controls and everything like that, and obviously the emitter will be sticking out of there. So that's a good one. And I'll just mess around doing the right one because you don't need to see me do that. Okay, so both of them there. These two bits I'm going to put back into the retail box of the Quest 3, so in years to come I'd maybe decide to sell the Quest 3. It'll be that these bits are there in case someone doesn't want to use these grips, or these grips over a few years get a bit beaten up as they were, because that's the whole idea of them really, isn't it? So that they protect the controllers. Taking them apart, sliding them on and off, even though I've got them on both hands, is easy enough. Just bend this back a little bit, get in. Got the battery puller, so let's see how good that is. Right, so that's good for definitely getting the battery in and out. Sliding it in and out there, and squashing that back down, and ready to go. So yeah, that's a really nice design, I think, for doing that. By the way, I want to point out I'm not sponsored by AMVR. Yeah, I purchased these myself because basically what it was is that, and I'll be honest, I put a post out on Reddit, and then someone pointed out to me that actually AMVR makes such grips with a little hole ready for the infrared emitter in the controls. So yeah, this is good. It's actually sort of like a nicer grip now than it is just the stock. I might mess around and actually take these off. I bet that it's possible. I haven't actually tried at the moment. But even so, if you put these on your wrists and you've got this, it sort of feels at the fact that the control is going to stay in your hand, especially when you're doing like exercise ones, or ones that you're in there for a good session of messing around in VR. Your hands might get a bit sweaty. At least it's going over the grip, and because of the way that the grip is, it's sort of got, how do I explain this? It's got a texture to it. It's not smooth, so it's giving your hand something to grip to even when it gets a bit sweaty. I can see that you're going to have to take them off from time to time and maybe give them a bit of a wash in some, I don't know, light baby soap or something like that, you know, to help get rid of any hand grime. Because let's be honest, that's what happens. It's the fact of being clean is the fact that you actually bother to wash them from time to time. So, you know, depending on what you're doing and how many people are using them all the time, I'm not saying you get over the top cleanliness about it, but it's definitely something you're going to want to be able to wash gently. I'm not saying you dunk the whole thing in though, because these metal bits might get rusty, and that's not something you'd want to happen. But, you know, a bit of light wipe down with a slightly soapy cloth, you know, wipe it all down, and then, I don't know, dangle it off your hairdryer to dry it out. Well, as I said, it's very nice grip and everything like that, but after some use now, it seems that this metal stud, basically, it comes through on the other side, and it's leaving a mark about there on this hand, and of course, roughly the same area on the other hand. I contacted AMVR, and basically they came back with try holding it differently, don't have it so tight, cliche things, you know, 1, 2, 3 sort of things. And I pointed out to him, I'm not silly enough to have it too tight. I mean, I can get my hand in and out, kind of shows it's not too tight. You know, it easily slides in and out. So that's not the problem. Changing your grip is what they said. Basically 2 steps on doing that. They sort of like reposition this, but you can't reposition this because the way that it's designed, it comes out this direction and that's that. If I push the controller further back into my hand so it's further along, well, the same problem, it just presses in there instead of my knuckle area. And plus, you know, the whole point is keeping this area empty or clear, you know, so my little finger starts being over that way. And besides, it's not comfortable for me to hold it this way because that's not how my hand works. It's there. So that is comfortable. That's where I want to stay, but this causes pressure. I understand why it's made like this and everything like that. You know, I'd rather it was metal than plastic. But the thing is, it causes problems. So they've told me though that leave it with them. If they come up with new designs, they'll get back to me and I'll get to beta test. I don't know if that's just what they say to everybody, but that's what they've said to me. And by the way, they know me under my real name. They don't know me under Retro Box Room or Fairfight 14. So what I have done in the meantime is bought some of this, which is basically, well, as you may have guessed, sticky back silicone. So what I need to do is make a template of that bit, and I realise I don't need it up on top. It's easier to hold that there, draw a pencil around it, cut it out, flip it over, and stick it underneath. So let me mess around doing that. I'm sure you don't need a guideline on how to use a pencil to make a template, but I'm going to faff around and cut the best I can. No, you know, it's not a press. I haven't got a special cutter. It'd be nice if I could have had the, you know, like the blueprint of just this bit. I don't want to nick their whole design. I just need that bit. But you know, I've not bothered asking because I'm sure they'll turn me down. But anyway, I'm going to cut a bit out and stick it underneath. So back in a moment. So I've cut it out. I'm about to apply it. Hopefully it's not too big. If it is, I can just trim it down. Maybe I should have rested it against it before doing it. It is a bit big, and I should have rested against it. So there's a lesson learnt. Just cut it down a little bit. By the way, this is supposedly 1.5 millimeters thick. I just wanted to be sure that it was going to cover up the metal bit and not rest against me. 1 millimeter might be enough. There we go. I think that's close enough, isn't it? You need there. Can I feel the metal bit through? No, I can't. Even when I'm pushing really hard, I can tell where it's flexing, but I can't like tell the difference, if that makes a sense. I can't tell by touching where the metal bit starts and when it stops unless I start flexing it. So let's slacken this off a bit now, because obviously I have made this a little bit thicker there now. Oh, that feels far much better because I can't feel that stud pressing into me. Yep, there we go. That's fine. So I think 1 millimeter probably fine. I think you need 1.5. There we go. Quick fix. I'll do the same for the other one. No point in showing that because it really is quite simple. But there's the fix that I've done. So let's move on to the normal rest of the video. I hope that's been some interesting information for you. I would recommend these ones over other grips, definitely, for the mere fact that AMVR have actually bothered to put holes in for the infrared emitters here. If you find that of interest, don't forget to look down in the description and check out the Discord and the Patreon links. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. But as always, happy gaming.